If you know what Schnecke is, it means snail. If you know what nackt means, it means to be naked. What is a naked snail? It is a slug. Is it just me, or is it impossible to film during the daylight anymore? It is the middle of the winter. I am sick, but I am here to ring in the new year and talk about one of those little big wins that I have every day living here in Germany. And that is discovering on my own how easy the German language can actually be. A lot of you might be questioning my sanity right now and being like, Jenna, the German language is extremely hard to learn. What are you talking about? You are crazy. Well, you're right that the language is hard to learn and that I might be a tad crazy, but hear me out. There are words in the German language that are just like so simple that you almost forget to think about it, if that makes sense. So at some point in my life here in Germany, I finally realized, you know what? Sometimes it doesn't have to be that hard. Sometimes I just need to sit back and think like a kid. So what do I mean by that? I mean, the German language is very, very literal. So we're gonna go through some of these literal words now that I absolutely love, that I hope also help you learn the language. But if this is your first time here, nice to meet you. My name is Jenna. I am a Canadian who has been living here in Germany since 2014, and I share all of my stories, my experiences, and my tips as a foreigner living here in Germany over on this channel. If you need more information, you can always go ahead and download my freebie checklist that helps you relocate to Germany super quick and super easily. And let's get into learning some of the most super literal German words in the German vocabulary. So if you Google the most literal German words, thinking that it's gonna be easy words, you might come up with words like Kummerspeck, which is grief bacon, which actually, I mean, yes, it's literal, but it's not easy. Like, it makes no sense to me. I'm like, grief bacon? What does that even mean? It means like the weight that you gain when you're grieving. Like, you know, when you sit around and eat a tub of ice cream. Those are not the words we're gonna be talking about. I'm talking about words that will make you realize, German isn't really as hard as I thought it was it? So like I said, think like a kid. When you're racking your brain and you're like, what's that word in German? Think simpler. So let's talk about doctors, for example. What about pediatricians? That's quite a difficult word. You would expect this word in German to also be quite difficult. Well, it is actually Kinderarzt. That means kid doctor, directly translated. Let's move forward. What about veterinarian? Animal doctor. Tierarzt. Gynecologist. Frauenarzt. Woman doctor. Or Zahnarzt. Tooth doctor, which is dentist. So really doesn't get much simpler than that. All of these words that I'm saying in English are actually more difficult than the German word. And because I'm talking about little wins and big wins that we have in the German language, I also want to, of course, introduce you to one of my favorite sponsors that we have here on this channel, and that is Lingoda. I have been learning German through Lingoda online. They are an online language learning platform that is virtually open 24/7. They have highly qualified teachers all around the world hosting Zoom classes for around 3 to 5 students. There's also one-on-one opportunities here, but my absolute favorite thing about them are their Lingoda Sprint challenges. I'm sure if you've watched my channel, you've heard me talk about them before, and you've heard me explain this challenge before, so I will keep it short and sweet. The language sprints, there's 2 different options. You can do the sprint or you can do the super sprint. The sprint is actually 15 classes per month for 2 months, and if you take all of those classes, you get 50% of your cash back. If you do the super sprint, well, then you're gonna be taking 30 classes a month for 2 months, and if you take all of your classes, you can actually get 100% of your cash back. Now, I'm mentioning that this month because January is like the month for, New Year's resolutions. Don't we have them all? But a lot of people either say, I'm gonna learn German or I'm gonna lose weight. And if you're trying to do both, well, good on you, because I'm just trying to stay afloat with a newborn baby and a toddler at home and hopefully not get this sick anymore for the rest of the year. Toy, toy, toy. But all you have to do is choose your language. They actually have German, English, business English, Spanish, and French. You've got lots of different options. You can then choose which sprint is best for you. And then at the end of your classes, you can claim your prize. So if you're interested in taking part, I will also be including a link down below and a discount code that will get you 20 euros off your deposit. If you have any questions about Lingoda, of course, as well, feel free to let me know. I have lots of experience learning with them and I really do love the language sprints. So get on that horse and go learn some German, will ya? Otherwise, I will teach you a few very literal and very easy words to remember in the German language. Let's go. I'm just gonna throw some random ones out there right now and you can guess what they are. Speisekarte. Sounds like a difficult word. It's actually very literal and quite easy. Instead of saying, I would like to see the menu, you can say, I would like to see the food card. That is literally the most literal thing. It's not even very romantic. Can I see the food card, please? Thanks. Not, I would like to see the menu. Now you're not gonna forget it. One of my favorites is Nacktschnecke. If you know what Schnecke is, it means snail. And if you know what Nackt means, it means to be naked. So what is a naked snail? It is a snail without its shell. It is a slug. What about a Stinktier? Stink means stink. Tier is animal. Stinktier is a stinky animal. Which animal is stinky? Well, that would be the skunk. Again, guys, these are so literal. You won't forget the ones you learn them. You've got Hausschuhe, house shoes, which are slippers, and you've got Handschuhe, which are hand shoes, aka gloves. I actually use these words in German so often that sometimes I forget, and in English I'm like to my son, hey love, where are your hand shoes? Or where are your house shoes? I think I don't actually call them slippers anymore, I call them house shoes. And sometimes my Canadian friends are like, what? Like, what are the house shoes? Are they shoes that you wear in the house? Well, yes, well, they're actually just slippers. But in Germany, there are people who actually have shoes that they wear in the house, so this term might actually make quite a lot of sense. When we're talking about the body, we have Zahnfleisch, which is your gums, and Zahn means teeth, Fleisch means meat, so teeth, meat. Kind of disgusting, but very literal. Or you've got Brustwarze, which is your breast wart. And that also sounds quite disgusting, but I mean, your nipple kind of just does look like a wart on your breast, doesn't it? Talking about Gesundheit and my health and me being constantly sick this season, Gesundheit means healthiness or your health. So when somebody sneezes, you say Gesundheit instead of bless you, which I think is actually very practical. You're wishing them health rather than blessing them. It really makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Then if I get super sick, I might need to go in a sick people car. Instead of an ambulance, we go in the Krankenwagen. And Krankenwagen means sick wagon, sick people car. It's a direct translation, guys. Another German word I really love is Staubsauger. I think it's quite catchy, if you ask me. But Staubsauger means dust sucker. What sucks dust? A vacuum. And to end it off, what about all the things that Germans like to just call things? You've got Flugzeug, Spielzeug, Fahrzeug, Schlagzeug. What other Zeug words can you think of? So Zeug means stuff, like just a thing. Flugzeug is flying stuff. Spielzeug is toy stuff. Schlagzeug is hitting stuff, which is drums. Fahrzeug is driving stuff, vehicles. So you've got Flugzeug, which is airplane, Spielzeug, which is toys, Fahrzeug, which is vehicles, and Schlagzeug, which is drums. Do I have any to add to the list? Oh yeah, don't forget Wörterbuch, the word book. What is a book of words? It's a dictionary. So let's see how many of those you guys can remember. It has been 8 years living in Germany and I am still learning a thing or two, but when I am stuck on a word, I literally just sit back and go, what would a kid say? What is like so literal that it hurts? Either I decide to speak Denglish and I'll just switch into English while I'm talking. 9 times out of 10 it ends up also being a German word, which is bonus for me. Otherwise, I think of what could be like the most literal explanation for this word. I'm usually always bang on, so those are my little wins when talking about talking German. I'd love to know what your little or big wins are learning the German language. What makes you feel like you've taken it to the next level. It is the new year, it is 2023. I hope you guys have an amazing start to the new year. Whether you want to say in English, I hope you rang in the new year well, or in German, gute Rutsch, which is a good slide into the new year. I hope you had a wonderful celebration and you are ready to kick things off with a bang. That is all from me. Vielen, vielen lieben Dank und wie immer, bis später.